Hopefully some folks will roll in here.
Yeah.
July version of the 2023 version of the Atlanta Radio monthly meeting. We've got another great program in store for us tonight. Rob continues to outdo himself month after month, so looking forward to this. And we've got one event coming up real quick. We're going to be doing this maybe more for new hands in particular, but it's a great opportunity. But we'll be doing an antenna build in the park on the 16th of July, which is a Sunday, starting at 1 at a Brick Run Park. Bill KB4KFT is going to walk us through the math and science of building a simple dipole, probably like a 40 or 20, so that you have some better understanding of what you're doing and how you're building it. And then we'll put together a simple Bill Perkins special, and you'll be able to take it home with you. So if you have an interest in that, especially if you're new, let Bill know or myself. If you email me, you can email me at president@atlantaradioclub.org, and I'll pass the numbers along to Bill so that we know we have enough stuff on hand to, wire wise and all that stuff. So we're not surprised, but should be fun. If you're not interested in building, come join us anyways. We're going to put some radios out so we can test the antennas, and we can always use extra hands with the antenna build and then the playing afterwards. So,
well, are you going to send anything out to the group about that?
Yeah, I meant to put it on the IO group and I forgot to. I just stuck some out on the.
I was telling everybody it was the 16th.
Huh?
I was telling everybody it was the 16th.
What did I say? Did I say something different?
Well, you said this on Sunday, didn't you? No.
Sunday the 16th.
Oh, okay, this is okay.
Not this Sunday, but next Sunday. You still have time. Anyways, so I'll pass it off to Stephen real quick because he's got to jump out and he's going to give us a little repeater update. I'm pretty sure of. So go ahead, Stephen.
All right. So first and foremost, Jeff and I, as just about everyone probably knows by now, have deployed the new RC210 repeater controller and the expander board, and things tend to be working very well on it, with the exception of a few rogue error messages here and there. The only snag that we've been dealing with, though, is the serial programming interface. I think the USB to serial dongle that we're using doesn't really like the controller. So it is, sometimes our changes go through, sometimes they don't, but we're going to be swapping that out shortly. And also, we have lost the feature of the guys at the Weather Service being able to bring up the Skywarn link on demand. So that means one of us is going to have to do it locally whenever we get the word from them. But they know my phone number, they know Jeff's phone number, so we've got it covered. I'm still trying to figure out a way we can get around that, but I may have something and I just need to research it more. And let me know what issues y'all are having with it, if any. I know I'm going to need to add some things to the control operators manual, which I will hopefully get to do this weekend now that things have kind of settled down. And I think that's about it. Are there any questions?
Yeah, the error messages actually come up pretty frequently.
Yeah, I think I know what's causing that, and I tried to fix it earlier. It's just because of that serial adapter, the changes didn't take effect, apparently. So, yeah, that's something that we're going to have to deal with. I think I can make that change via DTMF this weekend also.
Yeah, that'll be good. No, one more. Yeah. The Weather Service connection broke because of the new hardware? I mean, that's why they can't start, or is the serial connection, or?
Well, we can bring up the link on our end.
I know.
But the reason why is because the port expander that's connected to port 3 on the controller doesn't have access to the controller's DTMF decoder unless the controller actually selects that port on the port expander, which it doesn't. Otherwise, we would be connected to their repeater all the time.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but there is a way around it. We could actually, well, if it becomes an issue for them, then we can probably add a second RC210, and that gives you 4 full-featured ports and 2 other link ports. So we'd end up with 6 ports.
Okay, cool. That's interesting. Okay, that's it for me, John.
All right, Stephen, thanks. Always doing a good job. So thanks for being there.
No problem. See
All
you later.
One other, or actually 2 other things I forgot about to mention earlier. Elections are next month. So if you're interested in running for office, if you're familiar with our way of doing it, you put together a slate of officers, 5 officers to run, including yourself, and present to the elections committee, which I hope to have in place this week. I've struggled to find some courageous bodies to simply read the script and present the slate as is. We do have a slate. We do have 1 slate, so we're at least covered worst case. We won't go without a slate come next month. So, and also still trying to work on possibly having an in-person meeting for August. Hopefully we'll have some news on that. It'll probably be at PDK. So hopefully that will at least get us back to the in-person stuff, and we'll see where we go if we end up somewhere else, but at least it'll get us started and back on an in-person footing. So just stay tuned to your emails, your .io group, and Facebook for updates on those things. So I'll go ahead and hand it off to our dashingly handsome program manager, Rob O'Soughton, KI4UTY, for tonight's program.
Yeah, the injured one. See, I got some left hand, right? I think I'm falling apart here. Yeah. Thanks, John. Yeah, I want to introduce our speaker this month. We have another excellent speaker, and he was, I think Tom was the one who recommended you. Is that right? Mike. Okay. Anyway, Michael Walker. Sorry.
Can't remember. That's okay.
Yeah, Michael Walker, VA3MW, that Canada, right? Going to talk to us about FlexRadio, which is a very interesting line of radios. And I had a question. Somebody submitted some questions for you, Mike, and I emailed them to you earlier, and I got a bounce back from your work from the
I
work.
replied to you.
So, oh, you did? Okay, so you got them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on vacation this week, but I am watching emails, so it's okay.
Thank you. So the meeting is yours. Go ahead.
Hey guys, I drove by Mellow Mushroom today, and they've got Fox Brothers signs up, and so I don't know when they're going to open, but I'm curious how busy the parking lot will be when Fox Brothers opens.
What is
Fox
Fox
is going to be
Brothers?
pissed off when they find out, the parking situation.
It's a barbecue place. It's considered one of the tops in the country, I guess.
Yeah, the barbecue's
Oh.
great, but that parking lot's
It's
already
gonna add
pretty
more
full.
cars to the parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to see if they had anything on their website about that, but don't see it. Yeah,
Maybe we all need to
start
chip in on
looking.
a hovercraft. I don't know how we're gonna park.
Need those.
We might have to find another place if it gets too bad.
Yeah, there are plenty of other places. Yeah, I
And
drove by
they
drove
They
by
might
the
not be open
bistro
till
bill.
night. I mean, I don't know.
I drove by the
That's fine.
bistro bill, and it's still empty.
Yeah.
Never did anything with that building.
There might be a couple places over there we could do lunch at. There's a vegan place right around the corner.
There we go.
I don't care about that. I don't care about the vegan place. I know a good
Tell you what
Mexican
they tell me,
restaurant.
well, you're gonna get a salad. What they always-
I like a steak. But I do know a good Mexican place on Beaufort Highway. If anybody
Maybe
wants to
try
go
that.
there. El Potro,
Where is that?
El Petro. Oh, it's up by,
By North Druid
it's in
Hill?
between Claremont Road and North Druid Hills Road. It's right across the street from O'Reilly Auto Parts. And there's two auto parts stores across the street. One's O'Reilly. I think the other's Pet Boys. Up by, I think it's Northeast Plaza, maybe.
What side of the street is that? I guess that's on the,
It's on the southbound side.
okay, yeah, I can. I think I can picture that. I'd go for that, you know.
Well, they have good lunch specials. At night, the place is packed, but during lunch, I've been there at lunch. It's pretty empty. So, you know, if it gets too bad over at Mellow Mushroom, we could try that one time. And then John had a couple of places he was mentioning. John,
Yeah.
where were your ideas?
Oh, I know there's a couple. When he said Chambly, there's all those new places along
Oh, yeah.
near the police station, all that. And now you can walk around with an alcoholic drink in your hand. That's the new rule.
Oh, really, they got, that's their version of open carry, you know?
Yeah, they just passed that supposedly. There's a couple places there, and they've got outdoor seating and stuff. And I'd have to look up to see exactly what it is, but there's always the ice cream caboose too.
Yeah,
Yeah. Ponchos is pretty good too. It's not,
Yeah.
I don't think it's as good as El Petro, I can't pronounce it, but I don't think it's as good as the other place, but Ponchos is pretty good.
yeah, I
It's
went there
easy to
several
get
weeks
to.
ago.
What, Rob?
Yeah, I went there several weeks ago for the first time. It wasn't bad. We'll figure it
Is-
out. I guess
is-
we'll,
So I'm watching this commercial, or I'm watching a news, I think it's Channel 2 News. And they're talking about how they have tag readers on Beaufort Highway and they can spot criminals and blah, blah, blah. And then the guy says, but we don't want to disclose the location because we don't want criminals to know where the tag readers are. Well, you stand at the view behind him was Green's Liquor Store. If you've ever driven by down Beaufort Highway, you know where Green's Liquor Store is. So,
Every camera on every
Landmark.
intersection has an LPR license plate.
yeah. So
I mean,
yeah.
it's kind of top secret, I think, probably, right?
is that a street level?
What's
not,
that?
it's up, the cameras?
Yeah.
Up there.
Okay, so then the car's got to be driving away certain distance before it can get it. And
I guess so. And the Brookhaven Police Department's got another cool thing. I was listening to my scanner the other night, and the Atlanta Police Department was chasing some car. But they're not allowed to chase high speed. They have to go Georgia State Patrol or Brookhaven. But Brookhaven has these things that will, if they can get close to your car, they fire them, and they're GPS trackers that stick to your car. So they only have to
Okay.
get close to you, then they're tracking you with GPS, and I guess the helicopter picks you up after that.
They also have drones that they've got. I don't know if it's different drone teams or they're all trained. All the police are trained on drones. Brookhaven also has drones that they fire up.
Do
in
they?
the air. Right,
Well,
yeah,
maybe
they're-
they follow you with drones after they put the GPS
maybe,
tracker.
yeah, maybe that's integrated with the drones too. I don't know. Interesting thought though.
Gwinnett's installing those flock cameras all over the county. Those you usually see them in neighborhoods, and they're on black poles and about 9 feet high or whatever.
What are they, John?
They're called flock. I think it's called FLOCK, flock cameras.
What do they do?
They're tag readers. They
Okay.
they record tags so they can go back but I've noticed they're popping up all over the place, and they're just you'll see them on a black pole and its pole's about 9-10 feet high, and it's got a little, it's the same thing you'll see the neighborhoods are installing them at their entrances to record tags coming and going. Well, now the county's apparently installing them all over the place. They're popping up left and right. I noticed. I see them everywhere now. So I guess it records tags, and then they can go, and if they're looking for a specific tag, they can go in the database and figure out where the tag is, where it was seen. And that they actually caught somebody this past weekend using that, so that had stolen the car.
Well, the second that tag goes into a database, I mean, it gets cross-referenced if there's a warrant out.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be integrated with facial recognition too. Miami Police.
I was just surprised to see them. I mean, they're just, all of a sudden I've seen them all over the sides of the roads. They're just there. They're black, so you don't really notice them, but they're the same thing that our neighborhood looked at. I mean, look just like the ones, they've got a little solar panel on them and everything, and they're just reading tags all day long.
Problem with that, I mean, I know a lot of people have problems. The only privacy problem with that for me is 60 Minutes had something on it. The data that the private companies collect is not owned by the police department, it's owned by them.
Yeah.
So it's theirs to do with what they want, apparently.
Well, that's right. That's something a lawyer could fix. They need to write a contract so that if we're paying you to put your device up there, the data belongs to us, not you.
Oh, the cities could do that but they don't.
Well, they should.
Just
Yeah.
be thankful we don't live in a totalitarian, country like China or Russia or somewhere like that.
Yeah, that's what China does.
Once they're in charge and they've got that kind of electronic lockdown, you're done.
Well,
Well,
one of
You
our
fight
guys,
that.
David, the guy you were talking, Chris, you were talking to last week
Yeah.
at lunch. He works at Georgia Tech, and I think consultant
Right.
department. And he said they have facial recognition. They have cameras all over campus with facial recognition. So if you see somebody doing something, you could zero in on that one person, and then you can get camera information where that person's been
One in there.
some X amount of time in the past. It'll find them on all the cameras.
That's fascinating, guys. My son from North Carolina just dropped in, so I'm gonna gracefully drop out. Hey, great meeting.
Okay.
See you all next time.
All right.
See you tomorrow, Chris, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm planning on being there.
Okay.
Bye.
See you, Chris.
What I can't understand about facial recognition, you see on TV where some guys robbed a store, shot the clerk, and they got a picture of him. Well, shouldn't they be able to figure out who it is with facial recognition? If he's robbing stores, he should have been through jail a few times. Don't they take your picture every time you go to jail? So I would think they would just compare the image and find them immediately, but they don't seem to be able to do that.
The different police departments that do that, I'm sure, I doubt that they all send the pictures to one central repository for the searching. You'd think that NCIC or one of those would get everything.
Or
But
the FBI,
Or the
or
FBI.
somebody should have a central database, secured.
yeah, it's like
So-
the FBI has the central fingerprint database and
Yep.
central picture database. And they got pictures on everybody's driver's licenses anyway, right? So
Yeah, that's true.
I guess they can look at those.
And I think with the new driver's license, they got a new name because I had to bring in my passport and get my fingerprint taken. And in order, you have to prove you are a citizen of the United States to get a driver's license now. So they should have that information somewhere.
You got to bring a birth certificate.
Well, I just showed them a passport, but if you don't have a passport, you got to get your birth certificate. And that was 2017 in Georgia. I think if you've got a driver's license and it's valid, then you've already done it. There are a few states that haven't done it yet, and they're telling them you need to get this done by a certain date, or your citizens cannot use their driver's license as ID in an airport.
Oh yeah, that's real ID.
That's right. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, because they got the code, right? They got the on the QR code on the back.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I took a picture of the QR code that he gave, and so I've got the website for the slides.
Did he said something about? I know we usually post the recording of the meeting, but he said something about not passing it around. So
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a good point. Let me check
Mine-
with him on that.
yeah, maybe it's just that manual that he doesn't want readily available.
He said, don't make it public. We could put it on the private area, but don't make it public.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd like a copy of it. However we do it public or privately.
Yeah, you guys can have it. But it's a good point about putting the video with all
check.
that.
You may want to check about putting the video online, even if we scrub out the QR.
So I guess
code.
we shouldn't put it on YouTube.
Yeah, well, let me see what he says. I'll ask him about that. Because he'll make a decision, I guess, whether for sales purposes, the salespeople may want it out there, but the tech people may not. So, yeah, we'll find out. That radio's a lot cheaper. I didn't know they had a $1,300 used radio out there. That's because I was one of those. Someone said Flex, and I go, well, $5,000-$6,000.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking when I mean, Flex radios are great, but I've always heard they're very expensive.
Used to be the model number was the price. Oh, let me turn this thing down. I'm looking for K2K now. So yeah, it used to be that the model number was the price, and you could drop, $7,000 or $8,000 on one. I got to 6,300. I think I got it 4 years ago. And I had done some radio work for a club up in Ohio, and they had one as club radio. So they sold it to me. I think I paid $1,800 for it.
Huh.
And that's when the new ones are still selling for $2,400, $2,500. I was surprised when he mentioned that they had discontinued the 6,300s. That kind of surprised me, because it absolutely is. It's the best radio I have ever used. And the story I tell, there's a flex net that used to meet on Sunday afternoon, and they would move the frequency of the net to be inside the AM envelope of an international broadcaster. They were actually just about 3 or 4 kc up from the carrier, because only a flex radio could peel the AM signal off to get to the sideband underneath. And it's honest to God truth. You can sit there and take that mouse and drag the lines of the filters around, and it's like, I don't know. Don't put a flex radio next to one you like and compare them side by side. Otherwise, you'll find you don't like your radio. That's the only way I know to put it. But it's cumbersome to carry. The 6,300. If you want to use it, you got to carry at least a laptop. And Arnold likes to see at least a 33-inch screen, so I end up carrying a monitor, and then you got a cable and a power cord and another power cord, and then a brick for the laptop and another power cord. And it's not a good portable, but the Maestro may change that.
That sounds interesting. Yeah, the K4s are supposed to be great too, the Elecrafts, but
what really makes it, I mean, the filters on them are just unbelievably sharp. Well, what really makes it work is if you get it up on a monitor where you can actually see the signal you're trying to pull out, and you can take the mouse and start dragging the bandwidth back and forth and sliding the filters and whatnot on top of it. You can do that with a KX3, but you got to turn the knobs, and the K4s, you got to turn the knobs and press them and click and sort of shift around. And like he said, when you've got that display up, especially if you have it on a big monitor, you can just see exactly, where the birdies are, where the spurs are, where how far to narrow it down to get rid of the signal that's in your way. And it's not just fading away, it's just gone. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how to put that. Okay, I'm done.
they have those editors now for the phone where you can just like circle a picture, or somebody in a picture, and it just disappears from the picture. You'll still be able to do that on this. You'll have the waveform, you'll have your spectrum up there, and you just circle a signal you don't want.
Yeah, to do it in real time. Stalin was doing that in the 50s, so that's not new technology. That's just to reapply. But on the flex radios, it's like, yes. Even Arnold, we brought one over to do the 160 one time, and we were trying to pull 160 out of the noise, and even Arnold was impressed. That impressed me. It impressed me that I was able to impress Arnold.
Well, now Arnold's only impressed if it works on POTA.
Yeah, and that's why I'm looking at Maestro, because next time we go out in the park, Arnold and I want to be able to work signals he can't even hear.
So
And
all I have to do to have Flex radios, win one of these. And
There
I'll
you
go
go.
buy a bunch of Flex radios.
If what he said about the price of the 6300s coming down, Ed, I'm tempted to go look and just see what they are. I paid 18, I think 18 for mine, and I think I paid another 250 for the tuner because I bought the tuner separately to put in it. But if what he said is true, you can go out for $1,500 and buy a 6300. Honest to God, it's a drop dead radio. I mean,
The
it's
ICOM 7300's up there, right?
no, no, don't put a 7300 next to
No,
a
no,
Flex.
price wise.
Oh yeah, they're still about 1,200, 1,400 when they're on
So
sale.
for almost the same amount of money, right?
Yeah.
So here's the problem I have. Well, can you see it? That's my shack. That's all the room I have.
Yeah.
In a wide angle lens.
You're kind of
Yeah.
hurt.
Well, it's a cheapy camera in my PC. Yeah, I don't have much room here. So I could never have a Flex and a power amplifier and all that stuff.
Well, bringing it out to the park like you did, you'd have the same issue I have. You have to have at least a laptop. And I've got a ThinkPad. So I pulled out a mechanical drive and put an SSD in it. And I pulled out the 6-cell battery pack and put an 8 in there. And it's fully charged. I can only get about 3.5, 4 hours out of it before the laptop dies.
Yeah.
And I've never found a solution to take one of these big ass batteries and put a rectifier on it because the rectifiers make so much noise that it defeats the purpose. So,
Well, you could buy Jackery.
You
You know what that is?
no.
It's a power supply. People take them camping and they can run AC or DC.
I'll look at it, but I had a rectifier that I hooked to the BAB, and the BAB in theory should run it for about 10 or 12 hours because it's like 109 amp hour, but it was so noisy.
If you guys have a minute, I got to tell you something I bought. It's really cool. Whenever I travel, I always carry my ice chest, and I usually carry things to fix a sandwich with too, because sometimes I don't feel like going to McDonald's. I'll just fix a sandwich, or I'm at a rest stop. Okay, so I'm always buying bags of ice before I head down to Florida, and then I go to the hotel, got to drain the water, go to the ice machine, fill it up. I bought an ice chest with a refrigerator in it, and it can be a refrigerator or a freezer, but not both. Mine's single zone. I guess they have more expensive dual zones. So you plug it in, it pulls 45 watts at 12 volts, eco mode, 60 watts at 12 volts, which your USB connectors are usually 30, so they won't work. But you usually have one cigarette lighter, and it'll push 120 watts, so that'll cover you. And I'm really happy about it. And don't pay full price. Dig around on YouTube, and you'll get a discount code.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm really anxious to take a trip just to use it.
I know they have those solid state coolers where you just you sit your Coke can down on this little pad and it's all solid state. You plug it in and it cools the thing.
Yeah, that Ford Explorer had one of those in the cup holders in the front.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, you had a little switch there you turned on and it would cool the bottom of it and keep it. Of course, it sucked for coffee, but for cans of Coke, it did pretty good. Of course, I don't drink a lot of cans of Coke, so I was kind of.
Did it work on Dr. Pepper?
If it was in a can, I guess it'd work in a plastic bottle too. Whatever would fit down in there.
I find better sales on cans, so that's why I wind up with cans of things.
I still have 8 cans of your stuff here. I brought it I brought it out Sunday. You didn't show up, so I just took it back home, but it stayed cold.
Bill, I have cases of that stuff.
Yeah, but
every time they go on sale, I'm like John's dad. I go fill up.
I didn't want you to bring another whole case or half a case, and we got some. So we'll be out there on the 16th. I'll have at least 10 cans for you. Yeah,
unfortunately, I had to get my cat to the vet at 7 a.m. Monday morning, so I had he had to get an ultrasound. We think he's got cancer. So
yeah, that's rough.
He's probably not for long. unfortunately.
My
Huh.
last little cat, the crazy one, she got cancer on her tail, and she was so old. They said if we try to bob her tail off, she probably won't survive it. So I had her on pain meds for like the last month, and finally, it just she didn't like taking the pills. I didn't like patching up after giving her the pill, and it just that was it for her. I hated that too. I like that little cat. She hated me, but I liked her.
They wanted me to put my cat on chemo, and I got the
It's
chemo,
not worth it.
and
No, it's not.
I bought it, and then I just decided not to administer it to him because it just the cure was worse than the disease. But they put him on also on steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna do that
In
totally.
2 years. This is 2 years, and he's still around.
Yeah, and the lady, nice lady, she told me about the ultrasound, and she said, "No, I see a growth on his somewhere inside liver, I think it was, and we can do an operation and see if it is cancerous." And I said, "Is he gonna have to wear one of those cat cones?" And she said, "Yeah, oh, yeah." And I said, "We're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
We think he's got it. So why would I make him suffer? You know?"
Yeah, at some point you gotta think of them. Squirt the cat didn't like being handled, and there was a while there when I was having to give her a half a bag of this saline stuff, and she didn't mind me sticking the needle in her, and she didn't mind the liquid going in, but she hated me petting her while it was going in. And so by the time I'm holding her, it only took a couple of minutes, but she'd be growling at me by the time I turned loose over, she'd run. She just didn't like being touched. That was what it came down to. So yeah, at some point you say, I'm making her miserable trying to keep her alive for my benefit.
Right. And I won't do that. When he
Yeah.
starts suffering,
That's time to go.
it'll be time to carry him to the vet. And I'm not looking forward to that day, but I don't think it's going to be very long. So,
Yeah. I hate to hear it, Ed, but I had between Kay and I, we had 5, and I ended up having to take all of them at one point or another. The doctor one at a time. Squirt the cat was the last one, the little one. She was the youngest, and she was 14 when I took her. FP was 19. He had just turned 19 when I took him and had him put down. That's a quarter of a lifetime, man. That's a long time to have a
Yep.
friend. I still, every so often, I see him out of the corner of my eyes at the top of the steps or something. Of course, it's just a pile of socks or clothes, but it looks like him. All right, guys, I still need to work one more 13 colony station, KIK, and they're nowhere to be found, but I'm going to.
What state is that?
Oh, God, I don't remember. Let me have a sheet over here and see. It's one of them ugly Yankee states, I think. KIK. Yeah, it's New Hampshire.
Yeah, that doesn't narrow it down. One of the ugly Yankee states.
Yeah.
Did you get
All
France?
Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
No, never. I didn't get the center part of the Moxon started drooping when I started putting it together, so it needed to be reinforced a little bit. And then it rained every single day, so I come home from work and I couldn't work on it wet. So it's still in the backyard. It still needs to be assembled and tested. I've got everything cut for it, but it's going to have. It didn't make Sunday. It may make the Tennessee QSO party, just depending on what the weather does. And I'm leaving this weekend, so I won't have time to work on it till I get back next. And see, this weekend I'm going to Tybee, and then next Saturday will be the Golden Packet thing up on Roan Mountain. I'll be up there just on Saturday, so I'm gonna get to work on it. No, Sunday's the antenna build, so that weekend's pretty much gone.
Yeah,
And then
Bill, I'll be there. So I plan on being there. And
okay.
if you need me to buy some materials, let me know.
Nah, just don't bring any Dr. Pepper because we're covered on Dr. Pepper right now.
Okay.
All right,
Sounds
man.
good.
All right, I'm on a bail. I see. Oh, Aid, is Aid still there? Is he bailed on us?
He's there.
Did you get the email I sent you this morning?
Yes, I did.
Okay, that's. I know we're supposed to have the election committee up and running, but there is the slate. It's John and Ed and Aid and Rob. The only person missing is Val. Everybody is on there, and I'm pretty sure everybody's legit. So it's official at this point.
Yeah, I gotta pay my dues. I think it expires the end of the month. So
oh God! After I put you on the slate, now you tell me you're no longer.
no, it expires at the end of July, and so it is not expired yet. I will
Okay.
pay. I will renew and.
Okay. All right, I appreciate that. All right,
All right,
that's it.
guys.
I'm getting out of here. I need to find somebody in Connecticut to talk to.
I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm gonna try and make it.
All right, 7-3.
Be nice when you talk to the Yankees, Bill. Try and be nice.
You know, New Hampshire Yankees are different from, I mean, they're real Yankees like New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, you know, they're real, you know, what was it? Mark Twain, Connecticut Yankee. Yeah, there you go. It's a different kind of Yankee.
I have a friend who lives in Rhode Island. He says that everybody in Rhode Island's a product of incest.
Yeah, they're all what did Rhode Island export in the 19th century? Shoes and pickpockets. That's what you said. All right, I'm out of here.
Yeah, Bill.
All right, bye.
All right, I gotta run.
All right. If I do the video, how much you want all this? I usually put all this end stuff on the video because figure whoever was at the meeting would have heard it anyway. So
Yeah.
I'll do that. And but yeah, I'll send a note off to
Yeah,
Mike.
just run it by him. Sounds good.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah. Now I got to find somebody for now. The election probably won't take too long, right? So
Nah, I shouldn't.
we're not going to have a big.
I haven't heard of any other rumors, so.
We're not going to have a big debate between the slates and
Yeah.
slow things down.
Yeah. All righty.
You going to lunch tomorrow?
I'm gonna try. Still got a bunch of stuff to do. I gotta work on tonight, so that'll probably determine if I make it or not.
I know you're. Oh, Arnold. I guess Arnold. Oh, Arnold dropped off when Bill was
Yeah,
on.
he dropped.
Yeah, no Bill, no interest in the conversation. Okay.
Yeah. I doubt Arnold's a hit and miss on that one. Okay.
All right. See some of you
See y'all
tomorrow.
later. All right.